Every day, millions of travelers pass through airports thinking they've done everything right, and yet some are seconds away from losing their seat, their money, or their entire trip. These aren't rookie errors. Seasoned flyers make them. Business travelers make them. Maybe you've made them without even realizing it. From overlooked seat maps to the food choices that can turn a smooth flight into 7 hours of discomfort, these mistakes cost time, money, and comfort before you even touch the runway. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to avoid them, and you'll fly smarter than 99% of passengers on your next trip. If you've made even one of these mistakes, hit subscribe now, because the next one could cost you your seat, your money, or your safety. Airports have their own ecosystem, a mix of precision timing, quiet chaos, and invisible rules you only notice when they break. And for most travelers, the trip starts going wrong long before the first boarding call. Mistake number 1, skipping online check-in. It seems harmless. You'll just check in at the airport, right? But here's what you don't see. Airlines routinely oversell flights, counting on a certain number of no-shows. If too many passengers actually turn up, the last to check in can be involuntarily denied boarding, bumped. You lose your seat, your schedule unravels, and the airline offers compensation that rarely covers the true cost of the delay. The fix? A 60-second online check-in the moment it opens, often 24 hours before departure, locks in your spot. That's 1 minute of effort for hours or even days saved. Mistake number 2, overpacking or overweight luggage. At the counter, the scale is merciless. Just a few extra pounds and you're faced with hefty fees or the humiliating scramble of pulling items out in front of strangers. One of the most common traps are toiletries. Bottles of shampoo, conditioner, and lotions weigh more than you think, especially when combined. The smarter move? Weigh your bag at home using a small digital luggage scale. Swap full bottles for travel sizes or plan to buy certain items at your destination. This single habit removes the anxiety of last-minute unpacking under pressure. Mistake number 3, carrying small pouches for valuables. They seem convenient, a tiny zippered pouch for passport, cash, and cards, but in crowded terminals, these are prime targets. A bump in line, a moment of distraction, and your essentials are gone. Better, store valuables in a slim, body-hugging travel wallet or an inside pocket of a zipped jacket, any place that requires deliberate effort for someone to access without you noticing. Think security that's invisible to others, but immediately accessible to you. Quick, comment below. What's the worst thing you've ever lost in an airport? Your story might be the cautionary tale that saves someone else's trip. Imagine boarding a long-haul flight and discovering your seat is 2 rows from a galley where cards slam and coffee machines hiss all night. Or worse, right in front of the lavatory where the line never ends. This isn't bad luck, it's avoidable. Seat maps aren't just layouts, they're intelligence. Hidden in plain sight are icons that warn of seats with limited recline, missing windows, or proximity to constant foot traffic. Tools like Seat Guru go further, logging passenger reviews so you can see exactly where the noise, smells, or cramped conditions happen most. A 60-second check before booking can mean the difference between arriving rested or arriving irritated. Now, security. Half-full bottles of lotion or expensive face serum? Gone. That's not stubbornness from TSA, it's science and regulation. Liquids expand and air pressure changes, and if the container isn't under 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters, in a clear quart bag, it's out. The fix is simple. Decant into travel-sized silicone bottles or solid versions of your essentials, like bar shampoo or solid perfume. It's lighter, lasts longer, and you'll never have to bin a favorite product again. Then there's duty-free. Rows of glossy shelves, perfect lighting, and intoxicating scents. It's not an accident. It's a retail trap engineered for travelers with time to kill. But the time part is where travelers get burned. Gate changes, boarding calls that start earlier than posted. I've seen people miss flights because they were comparing whiskey labels. Solution? Set a phone alarm the moment you step inside. Give yourself a hard limit, say 10 minutes. That way, you browse without gambling your boarding pass. And finally, plastic wrapping your suitcase. It looks secure, but it's security theater. That stretch film tears easily, creates waste, and offers almost no theft deterrent. In fact, if your bag needs to be inspected, it will be cut open anyway. A smarter move? A TSA-approved lock paired with a reusable fitted luggage cover made from recycled material. It protects from scuffs, is harder to tamper with, and doesn't leave a trail of plastic waste behind. 4 mistakes, 4 simple fixes. Together, they can mean a smoother, cheaper, and far less stressful start to your trip. Most travelers think the trouble starts once they're in the air. The truth is, some of the biggest problems are set in motion hours before takeoff by choices that seem harmless at the time. One example is eating exotic or heavy new foods before a flight. That adventurous street snack or rich local dish might seem like the perfect send-off, but in the pressurized cabin, your body reacts differently. Spices, oils, and certain ingredients can trigger bloating, cramps, or digestive upset mid-flight, turning what should be a comfortable trip into hours of discomfort. The safer option is to stick to familiar lighter meals. Think lean proteins, low-sodium choices, and water-rich foods, especially if you have a long flight ahead. Another overlooked factor is the time you choose to fly. Booking flights prone to turbulence can turn an otherwise smooth journey into a shaky one. Statistically, early morning flights tend to be calmer because the atmosphere is more stable, while late afternoon and evening flights face more thermal activity. Season also plays a role. Winter air can be steadier than summer heat. Knowing this lets you plan for a smoother ride before you even step into the airport. Then there's hygiene blind spot. Security trays. These bins are touched by hundreds, sometimes thousands of passengers a day, and they're rarely disinfected. Studies have found more cold and flu viruses on security trays than on airport restroom surfaces. Having a small pack of sanitizing wipes in your carry-on is a low-effort move that protects you from germs you can't see. Efficiency matters too. Most passengers head straight for the first visible security lane, which is often the slowest. Walking just a little farther can lead you to shorter, faster-moving lines, saving you valuable time and stress. Frequent travelers use this trick every trip, and it consistently pays off. And if you're heading to a far-off time zone, ignoring jet lag prep is a mistake you'll feel for days. Adjusting your watch to the destination time as soon as you board helps your body start syncing early. Pair that with strategic hydration, avoiding caffeine late in the flight, and timing meals to match your arrival schedule. It's a small shift that can drastically reduce the fog and fatigue when you land. If these tips are saving you from even one travel nightmare, subscribing is the smartest travel move you can make today. Most passengers think the seat choice ends at aisle or window, but what you're about to learn could change how you dress, what you drink, and what you touch the moment you step on board. These are not your average travel tips. They're the overlooked realities of flying, the kind that quietly affect your comfort, health, and even your immune system for days after you land. Let's start with that window seat. It's the favorite for photographers, dreamers, and anyone who likes to lean away from the aisle traffic. But here's what most people don't realize. The outer wall of the aircraft is a thin barrier against the frigid air outside. At 35,000 feet, the temperature just beyond that metal skin can drop to minus 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That cold seeps in, not enough to frost your coffee, but enough to slowly drain your body heat during a long flight. Over hours, this chill can stiffen your neck, tighten muscles, and make you feel more fatigued than the passenger in the aisle. A simple sweater or light jacket isn't just about staying warm, it's an energy preservation strategy. Warm layers help your body use less fuel to maintain core temperature, so you arrive more alert and less sore. Now, let's talk about something most travelers never question: the hot water served on board. That steaming cup of tea might feel comforting, but here's the unadvertised truth. It often comes from the aircraft's onboard water tanks. These tanks are not emptied and scrubbed between every flight. In fact, maintenance schedules for them can stretch for weeks, sometimes months. Studies over the years have found varying levels of bacteria in this water supply, including strains you don't want in your system mid-flight. That's why seasoned flight crews stick to sealed bottled water, canned drinks, or hot beverages made with pre-packaged water, not tank water. Choosing sealed drinks isn't paranoia, it's just removing one more risk from an environment where your immune defenses are already working overtime. And then there's the issue every passenger sees but few take seriously: the surfaces. Tray tables, seatbelt buckles, and seatback pockets might look harmless, but they're handled by dozens, sometimes hundreds of hands in a single day. Deep cleaning between flights is not guaranteed, especially on tight turnarounds. In lab tests, tray tables have been found to carry more bacteria than the lavatory flush button. Think about that for a moment. This is where you set your phone, rest your snacks, or even lean your elbows for hours. The solution isn't complicated, but it has to be a habit. A quick disinfecting wipe before you use the table or buckle up dramatically lowers your exposure. Some travelers go further, using a small portable cover for the tray table or simply keeping items in their own lap or bag until after takeoff. When you put these three shifts together, dressing strategically for your seat, choosing only sealed beverages, and controlling what surfaces you touch, you're not just avoiding germs or staying comfortable. You're taking control of small, invisible factors that influence how you feel during and after the flight. The kind of control most passengers don't even realize is available to them. Bonus rapid-fire hacks. Booking early flights means fewer delays and less turbulence. Rear seating often gives you better service opportunities. Not overinflating neck pillows helps you avoid a mid-air pop. Ordering special meals usually means fresher food served first. I just gave you 4 bonus tips in under a minute. If you don't want to forget them next time you fly, subscribe now so you can find this again. A family of 4 arrived in Rome for what was supposed to be the trip of a lifetime. Within hours, their luggage had gone missing because they'd packed valuables and essentials in check bags instead of carry-ons. Their hotel booking had been accidentally canceled due to a credit card glitch they didn't catch before leaving, and because they hadn't researched local transport strikes, they ended up stranded with no taxis or buses running, paying triple for a last-minute private driver just to reach a replacement hotel. It wasn't one big disaster. It was a chain of small, preventable mistakes that turned their dream vacation into a week of stress, wasted money, and missed opportunities. These situations aren't rare. They happen every day to travelers who think it'll never happen to me. But a few key steps like carrying essentials and hand luggage, double confirming reservations, and checking local travel alerts can make the difference between a trip you remember, for all the right reasons, and one you wish you could forget. Which of these mistakes have you made? Be honest, your comment might save someone else's trip. Some mistakes cost you a few minutes, others can derail your entire trip. Skipping online check-in leaves you vulnerable to being bunned from an overbooked flight. Overpacking means paying fees or unpacking personal items in front of strangers at the counter. Ignoring seat maps can trap you in the noisiest, most uncomfortable spots on the plane for hours. These 3 alone account for more ruined flights than most travelers realize. The next time you fly could be the smoothest trip of your life, or a disaster you'll never forget. If you want to be the traveler who never gets caught off guard, hit subscribe now. And share this with someone who thinks they're a pro traveler. They might be making more mistakes than they realize. Smart travel starts before you even step into the airport. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next one.